hey, unafadhali ingie mahali useme niliwahi sikia hii kitu na kina Karis, so you know how to go around it. So hiyo ndio kitu tunafanya hapa, and I'm also very happy to have Zipporah in studio. Karibu sana Zipporah. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Habari ya masiku?
I'm good.
Joto
ni nyingi kule nje. But we are surviving, we are making it.
Well, people are making fun.
And we thank God for the season. Yeah, we should appreciate all seasons.
All seasons.
Yeah, because God brings them our way.
Kuna mtu anasema ule malaika ako in charge ya kuhakisha moto heaven. Nikaa alieka kuni mingi ikatufikia.
Okay.
So we are also live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and also live pale Twitter X. Yeah, so unaweza ukatujoin pale, follow this conversation pale Facebook live. If you have a question, you can put it there. And Zipporah, today I've been as we were talking to callers, and if I was asking them a question, if there is somebody umementa ama kuna mtu umeshikilia mkono, because I feel like it's very important. Na ni kitu tuna miss sana kwa Christian circles. Sijui ni ule mtu akona kitu anapewa cheo kwa kanisa ama nini. I don't know, but I think it's very important that people who have experience can also work with the young people without thinking of anataka kuchukua space yangu, anataka kuanzisha biashara kama yangu. I don't know what's your take on that aspect of what I was talking about before you came in.
All right. Okay, I think one of the principles that guide me and should guide all of us who are believers is that by lighting someone else's candle, your candle will not dim. So I think one of the things that affect us mostly is what we call the scarcity mentality. We are thinking that if I share my ideas, or if I hold this person at the hand, there will not be enough for me. So we are all, struggling, like thinking we can just have the whole world on ourselves, and we do not want other people to know what we do or to hold their hands. Yeah, so I think every Christian has a responsibility to say, these are the people I've mentored, because at the end of the day, God will require an account from us. Ni nani ulishika mkono. It's not just about preaching the gospel of Christ. It's also mentoring people as we walk through this journey of faith, that you hold them, you show them the ways that are right before God, so that as they are growing in business, as they are growing in career, they are also now growing towards Christ. So I want to believe we all have that responsibility.
Wow.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about building a business idea.
Yes.
From where I see it, a business idea is as simple as nitapika machapo, ama nitafungua cyber, or I'll start my own company ya kuweka CCTV na kuinstall CCTV. And for you to have this as a topic today, that means there is more than just the thought itself. Yeah, so when you talk about building a business idea, what should our young people or our listener have in mind around the construction of a business idea?
All right. I think it's good, we as a teacher, we like reviewing what we learned last time, because it is on the basis of that we are building today. I think last week we said that a business idea should be or what we called entrepreneurship. It's all about solving a problem. So when you go around the market, or what you do a market research where you are able to identify a gap that is existing in your community or in the society. And I always tell people, you don't have to, to be an inventor. Somebody else is maybe running the same kind of business, but you have realized that there is a gap, or they are not supplying, or they are not offering a service that is satisfactory to the, to the community. So you may want to come in through that. So building a business idea would be one, maybe from the line of your passion. Then you'd have discovered that there is a need in the market. market. Because we normally say that a good idea will help towards business success. So if you have a good idea, that is what will take you to, will bring success your way, because you'll be solving people's problem, and in the process, you'll be in the process of making money. So the right idea should be one that will be sold at the right price, that will meet the needs of the consumers in the current market. So even as you are thinking of an idea, what solution are you offering, or what service are you giving to the people? How can you sell it? Can it be purchased? Do people want that service? I think last time there was one who said that they had a product which was not moving. They introduced 7 others. I think the question that we need to ask ourselves when we are building a business idea, who am I serving? Am I meeting the needs of the people? Do customers want the service or the good that I'm offering? So if you're able to answer that question, then you'll be working towards satisfying the need of the people. And it is through now serving the people with what they need that now you'll be in the business, right? So I think business ideas could range from maybe a bakery, the chapatis you are talking about, a kinyozi. You'd notice that in this area there is no barber shop. Maybe there is a barber shop, ile wanatumia ile machine ya, ile inagwara inatoa ngozi. Then you are thinking there are these nice machines that can do a good job, that can, all those things. You'd think of photography. You'd see that there are events, but the photographers who come around, they come from other places. You'd think, let me open a small studio here, start photography, and I would get customers. You'd also look, maybe there are businesses around your place, and you're thinking, these people need maybe cyber services. They need printing. Hakuna printer, wanaendanga town kuprint. Ama notice hakuna posho mill, like the way we were talking. They have to go very far and they need a posho mill. So that is now, you are looking at what people need. Then now, you come up with a good business idea. So it could be home cleaning services. Maybe you've noted people are complaining within your neighborhood about bed bugs, and you're thinking, this is the time I need to do, the cleaning business for people. It could be web designing. People need websites for their businesses, and you're thinking, I should do this. Then you also look around and say, there are salons, but the salons that are there, they are not taking care of small children. You'd think of that service in the community, then so that you can take care of the children. So you start a business with the clientele in mind. Yeah, not with your own thinking. First think about the customer. It's the customer first. Yeah, so the other one would be a cafe or a restaurant. You'd look at maybe the population that lives in that place. You're thinking, these are people maybe who are single. They don't have time ya kuhakisha jiko ya kupika githeri. So you may think of providing such maybe foods that require a long time maybe to cook, and the community around do not have maybe the time to do that. So it is in meeting the needs of the customers that you get you make money.
Customer first.
Yes, customer first.
So there's this young person who came back to Kenya from Maju, and ako na mentality ya biashara za Maju, ndiye anakuja kuweka huku. I'm saying this because I know of 2 brothers who are in Dubai for the longest time, and they came back home. Na they had said wamemaliza, wamesave enough, wakaingia kwa biashara, and the 2 brothers right now are back in Dubai, like Kiliwa Ramba. The idea was good, but looking at it now, it was not an idea for where they put it. Was a good idea huko, it was not a good idea here. So maybe there's somebody thinking like that. How can they now bring this idea into the scenario ya Kenya ama ya kule kwenye wako?
Sure. I think the first steps, maybe I'll look at them in 2 steps. I think the first thing is, what is the idea? What is this that you want to do? Then once you're able to define the idea, you define it well and see, these are the people that I'm targeting. Do they have a need for it first? Because it's meeting the need. Then define the idea. Then you ask yourself, who are the potential customers? Who are these that I'm going to sell to? Who are these that I'm going to serve? So think customer first, right? The other one is how will it be sold? How will I sell that service? Does it require me to be there to sell it? How will it be sold? And I think as I'm talking about this, there are things that I always like reminding ourselves. Like when you're thinking like opening a shop, you have to think along that line. Are you ready to be sleeping late in the evening? Are you ready to be the first one to open when the others are sleeping? Are you ready to remain there until evening, morning till evening? So there are all those things that you need to think about that idea. So how will it be sold? Does it require me 24/7 to be there? Does it require my presence? Or in a jiuza, you know, am I online? Then the other thing is why will it sell? Why will it sell? Why will it sell? This is now in analyzing the idea. Why do you think it's going to sell? Ninafikiria kwa nini itauza. Yeah, because you maybe like, let's think of a diaper business. Why I think the diapers are going to sell. Maybe it's because the families, there are small children all around you, there are young families there. You believe that even the people living around that place, they have what it takes in terms of purchasing power. So you look at all those things. So you are able to answer the question of why it will sell. Then how much will it sell for? Because you also need to consider who are these that I'm targeting? Who are my target customers? Do they have the ability? So because maybe you might, if you're thinking of high-end community, that is okay. You have to have a product for high-end customers. If you are thinking of wale wa huko chini, lazima pia uangalie. There are all those factors that you need to consider, because there are some high-end customers, when you're maybe selling an item at a lower price, they will feel like, hapana, quality is wanting. Then kuna ule mtu wa huko chini, anafikirianga juu ya price. Anaona the price is too high, I can't afford. So that is why we are saying, as far as analyzing the idea is concerned, you must define the idea. You must know who are your potential customers, how you will sell the product, why it will sell. So you answer those questions of why, how. Then once you're able to answer those questions, now you can start going to the next step of the idea. And this involves now analyzing, conducting a research. Now that is now where our Dubai brothers might have gone wrong. And maybe we have also gone wrong. I've also made business mistakes myself. I look back and where I am now, if it was then, I would not have made those mistakes. Yeah, because I did not carry out an analysis. So I need to conduct market research. Uende around, uliza watu, by the way, ukitaka kuprint, ukitaka kupigwa picha, unaendanga wapi? Mkitaka photocopy, unaendanga wapi? Kama unafikiria posho meal, ni vizuri uulize, ufanye research. By the way, mnanunuanga unga ya bucket ama mnapenda unga ya kusiaga? Na kama mua mnasiaga wapi? You get that is part of market research. And how much are they, how much is it being charged? What is the cost? So those are some of the things that we need to consider. The other one is you need to determine the level of demand for the product. Oh my goodness. You need to ask yourself, what is the demand? Because you might start a business, labda ni ile watu wananunuanga hizo vitu zako Christmas, unaweka bags hizi za bags za kusafiri, and people only buy those bags during Christmas when they are traveling to Jago. So taka na hiyo stock tu pale. So you need to establish the demand for your product. Karis, please don't laugh. Looks like umeguzwa mahali. Right? Then you also need to think about competitors. Competitors ni kina nani wako na hiyo biashara around, wanauzanga aje, ni nini, wako na shortcomings gani hizi, labda nikiingia kwa hii soko nitaweza kumake. Karisa dalia machozi.
I'm laughing because there is a friend of ours,
yes,
who wanted to take people to Naivasha,
yes,
wakati wa 20th December,
yes,
that 12th December,
yes,
that celebration. And so akatoa, he's known, he's rather a celebrity,
yes,
so akatoa posters na akaweka kwa mtandao. So he tried to blackmail us as friends. He started with, we need to support each other, you know, friends support each other businesses, and we agreed until now he dropped that and the charges were 12,000. And so one of them asked him, hii kazi umewaifanya kweli? He was like, niko na jina. So he couldn't put our 12K there because mtu ako na jina. Alienda Naivasha na Nyuki, ilikuwa na Nyuki, alienda na Nyuki na best friend wake, na hata the few people walikuwa wamebook, they asked for their money because I think they realized along the way hii ni kitu ya kubahatisha. So zinasema na invest pesa mingi because it was a holiday. It was just because it was a holiday. Wacha nieke hapa kwa hii holiday. Aliumia. Tulimchangia rent January.
All right. Okay. Well, let's finish on the analysis before we can go to the other part. I think the other one is you must undertake what we call a SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT, I know that one we've used a lot. People use it. We apply it a lot. You need to look at your strength. What are my strengths? Me as an entrepreneur, what are my strengths? As I'm thinking this business idea, starting what are my strengths? Na ndio hapo nikakwambia, tafadhali kama ujui kazi ya nywele, tafadhali wachana na kazi ya salon. And if you start it, make sure hata wewe umesoma na umeelewa the nitty-gritties ya hiyo business ambayo unaingia. So your strength, what are my strengths? 2, what are my weaknesses? I'm not patient. The other thing, maybe my weakness, I don't have finances of, you know, to acquire the items that are required. The other weakness maybe that I have, I don't know how to market my business. So how will I, then you ask yourself, how do I counterattack that? Then you look at what we call opportunities. What opportunities are there? You know, you are scanning the environment, you are scanning them, you know, where where you want to have your business. So you also look at what opportunities are there. How can I seize those opportunities? Maybe the opportunities would be, there is a demand for this product. There are few competitors. The quality that is there, it's not as the one that I would want to provide. And then what are threats? What are my threats? Who are these? You know, threats could come from competition. Other threats would come from supply. Maybe you want something, but that thing has to come all the way from Dubai or from China, and it may take time before maybe you replenish your stock. So you have to think of all those things before now you can start thinking of implementing your business idea. Then the other one is you must create the business plan with the information gathered. So we've gathered information. We were able to define the idea. We have done all that. We have analyzed, looked at competition, looked at the customers who won't need our items. Then we do a business plan.
I have a question.
Yes.
You're doing this SWOT analysis.
Yes.
And you realize the idea is good. You've done the research, iko sawa. But maybe this business needs somebody who talks to customers. And that is the only weakness yenye unaona kuongea na watu ndio weakness yangu. But everything else ina hii biashara iko ni biashara iko. Lakini hapa kwa kuongea na watu ndio weakness yangu. How do you go about that?
All right. I think as we've said, as an entrepreneur, you are not doing it ndio ukaange pale. So you will know, because you've known your weakness is talking to customers and doing a lot of talking. So even when now we will come to planning for human resource or for employees, you know what you're looking for. Somebody who can now come and complement you. Remember, when you're doing a SWOT analysis, you are looking now for your weaknesses, then you look for your, you look for something to supplement. So if I am not good in talking, I'm not good in mathematics, I'm not good in bookkeeping, I will get someone who will be doing bookkeeping for me. Then you can have someone taking care of your customer service issues and also assisting you as you are doing the business. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take a short breather, tukunywe maji as we get some biashara. Then we come back, we continue this. We're talking about building a business idea. And I think by now, you know, it's not just niko na idea. We nisaidie tao tano, nianze biashara fulani. Si hivyo tu. There's a lot that goes before uende kuambia mtu, oya nisaidie tao 10, nisaidie 50K. And I think also when you have this clear, even the money, mtu yote unamwendea, anaona uko na idea. idea na anaweza weka pesa yake hapo.
Sure.
Maybe you don't get funds, si ati watu wamekudharau ama babu aliwalaani, hapana. Ni jui wewe uko tu na idea lakini uja build your idea.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's opening our eyes. Thank you, Zipporah. We take a short break. When we come back, we continue the conversation.
Experience the hope, the music, the anointing. This is Hope FM, where you listen and live. Shajara ya biashara.
In a changing world. And I also, kama Mankaris, I recommend Jesus. I highly recommend Jesus. It's getting us to 34 minutes past tisa. We're talking about 25 minutes to the top of the hour. We're talking about building a business idea. And I see people are writing notes. Kuna wewe anasema ako class, notes zinaandikwa vizuri sana. Yeah, somebody is just reiterating on thinking of the customer. Customer first, like think of the customers before you get this business in play.
Sure.
And also there's our sister ambaye alikuwa anasema last week alikuwa ameongeza product 7. Anasema she's solving a health and wellness problem. That's why the product range increases from 1 to 7. So it's actually now 8 and slowly getting in the space. And talking about health, wellness programs, maybe now we get why that one was not picking well, because there's a lot of customer awareness that needs to happen. Because it's a new product. So maybe that's why.
It also requires testimonials. People will say that I used the product. It's until they experience. That is when you can be able to know whether now you're solving the problem. And also the product knowledge. People need to be educated. So you need to do a lot of talking, a lot of flyers, a lot of, maybe having sessions where you're talking to people why that product you believe it is of benefit to them.
And I think also do have a follow-up program.
Exactly.
Nilikuzia uliona aje ile asali yangu uliona aje anakwambia hii asali kama uliweka maji unarudi kwa ule anakupatia anaambia watu wanalalamika hii asali, so you go as you better. Yana mwingine anauza sijui simos online. It's all about I took it and this happened, and she's selling a lot. So I think testimonials and follow-up is also big in this now.
And I think for those who are doing a business in the online space, there is what we call reviews. So encourage your customers to give reviews of your product. So because people, when I want to buy something online, I also want to go and check on your reviews to see whether there are any complaints, to see whether there is any Cornish business that ever happened around here. So that is, as you've said. Sure.
Let's continue.
So we've talked about the business, the idea itself. We've looked at the identify. Now I want us to identify potential customers. Who are potential customers? I think when I'm talking about identifying your potential customers, I'm looking at, are you dealing with a B2B, that is business to business, or your service will be a B2C? Am I targeting consumers, business to consumers? So because each business has its own niche, it has its own requirements and needs. So if I'm selling an item that is, or a service that is required by other businesses, I need to package it differently. If I'm selling that service or a product to consumers, I will also package it differently. For example, maybe like a B2B, maybe would be like a restaurant. A B2C would be a restaurant, a barber shop, a salon, maybe a kibanda, and like that. Then when I'm thinking about B2B, I'm thinking about organizations. Maybe I'm offering a service like accountancy. I've opened a consultancy for accounting services. So I will be my customers are likely to be businesses. I've opened my law firm. Who are my customers? Most likely, I'm targeting the businesses. So if you're targeting businesses, so that now also defines the nature of the business that you're going to start. Will I have, will it be a partnership? We go now to those levels of now designing. Takwa ile tunaitanga sole proprietor. Nita have to register legally. Are there bodies that I require to sign up with before I do my business? So that will inform you on now the other legal requirements. So you need to identify your potential customers. After you've done that, you've known now what you need in terms of now opening the business or the business. You also need now to develop a unique proposition. Unique preposition. We call it UP, a unique preposition. That means, because as I've told, I've said before, is that we are not originators. It's not, you may be coming up with a product that is already in the market. Most likely, ile vitu nafikiria hakuna kitu, it doesn't exist in this world. So you need to ask yourself, now that I'm opening this kind of a business or this barber shop, what will be the unique preposition that will sell my products. So maybe hapo ndio una introduce, kutakuwa na sink ya kuosha watu, huku kwingine wanapanguzangwa na vitambaa na kandoo na kamkebe. So kutakuwa na
towels zako zitakuwa za white,
towels zitakuwa za white. You know, that is a unique, what we call a unique preposition as far as business is concerned. So we call it, actually we call it USP. So that is what will make now your service different. Remember, customer asking, kwa nini ninunue hii shop na nisinunue kwako, ama kwa nini ninunue kwako nisinunue kwa that is now the unique preposition. Maybe it's the issue of customer service, after sales service that you are offering, the delivery service that you are giving, sindio? Reliability probably, timeliness, unafunguanga nini yako mapema. So you have to know that ni shortcomings gani ziko na yule na compete na yeye. Hii product ni nini haina ambayo lazima niweke. And I think I've seen this, the unique selling preposition, where like, even like, think of, wacha tutumie sasa, maybe you're doing margarine. Na umenotice ile container yenye huwa inapakiwa, maybe kifunguliwa ifungikangi vizuri tena. So you want to sell margarine as well. But now your unique preposition will be the shortcomings ya hii, ama tuseme rangi ya viatu. Hii kuna ile tukifungua ile kachuma kana katikanga. So ukikama up na product yako ya rangi, unataka ku make sure that hii story ya hiyo kakitu kukatika haitakuwa na product yako. So those are what we are calling unique preposition.
Now,
Yes.
you know, I've always wondered how the guy who had employed me huko sokoni
Yes.
would beat every other person there. Like walikuwa wanauza akiuza.
Yes.
And I see now that you might not know it, but I think
Yes.
now as you're saying this, I see the genius in maybe how he has structured his business.
Yes.
Sokoni inaexpectiwa utakuja umevaa vile nini. He used to come in a suit very clean.
Yes.
He used to ensure sisi tumenyoa nywele, tunavaa apron,
Yes.
apron safi.
Yes.
Alikuwa anahakikisha hata nakagua, sengine hata nakufukuza mbele ya watu. Customers wakiwa wengi, unasikia hii apron yako ni chafu. Sitaki watu hapa wauziwe na vitu chafu. Toka nyumbani. Nakupatia nini.
Yes.
And people will interact with him in that way. You'll
Yes.
find that watu wanapark magari hapo nje, wanaingia kwa soko, wanaona ule jamaa wa suti ndio wetu. And he will beat everybody because of that uniqueness.
Yes, the unique, we call it unique selling proposition.
Oh, nice.
So wewe mwenyewe unaamua ni cleanliness, convenience, unaamua ni usafi, ni customer service. So una capitalize weakness za yule mwingine. And you can only do this when you've done your research. Sindio? I think we've said that. The other one now, after you have looked at your unique, because we've said you are not an originator. It's only God who is the origin of all our ideas, or of all our thinking. So all we do is we copy, but you want it to have a unique, a unique serving or a unique appearance. And remember that we said it's about solving a problem. So you've identified that ile product huwa inaofiwa kwa hii soko iko na hii kasoro. What if I introduce the same product but I give it this unique preposition? So that way you are able now to convince your customers to buy your business and not to buy the other business. Then the other number 4 that now I want us to look at is what we call measurable business objective. You must come up with the measurable business objectives.
All this iko kwa business idea.
Yes, kule juu tumesema the idea itself, tumeongea the idea itself. We have also looked at kama wanaandika notes, tumeangalia the business idea itself, identifying potential customers, developing a unique preposition that you're selling. And now we are in number 4, we are talking about now coming up with the measurable business objectives. Sindio? So you must have a goal. You must have an objective as you're starting the business. So you need to ask yourself, if I am what turnovers do I want to move? For me to, to be like, I'm in business. What turnovers am I looking at? Ninafaa kuuza, ngapi kwa siku? Na kama mwezi wa kwanza natarajia, how much should I sell for me to break even, or at least nikwe nisiuze hasara. So you are thinking of what I'm like, you look at financial objectives. What are my financial objectives? Once you think of you are looking at the costs, issues to do with costs. You're also looking at profitability. You'll also be looking at growth. How do I intend my business to grow? And when you are looking at all this, it involves numbers. You might now start thinking in terms of numbers. And this is now where I can come and sell my idea to you, and you buy my idea. Because already nime lay down kila kitu. Remember, tumechora hiyo mambo yote tumesema, niko na idea, write down. Umeona unique preposition yako, write down. So nikikuja saa at that point nimeshafanya projections, because nimeangalia I can sell this is what I intend to sell, and these are the costs, this is what I need, this is the rent that I need to start the business, this is for stock as I start the business. So this is now what you are doing. You are looking at this measurable business objective, which we normally say that they must be smart. They must be specific. They must be measurable. Okay. Then we also say they must be achievable. They must be realistic. And they must be timely. So all those factors, you consider them. So usijueke useme I will sell 100 or 200 pieces na biashara ni mpya. So you must show that this is how I am projecting, that this is how the business will grow. So you have some, some ideas and some thoughts as you are looking into that business. Then the other one is your what we call non-personal objectives. You are, non-financial objectives. That is your personal objectives in terms of what is the drive and motivation. Nini itani drive? What is motivating me when I'm doing this? You also think the lifestyle. Am I ready? Tumeongea juu ya time. Hii ni biashara inataka ufungue mapema, ukwe present, ukwe online. Customer akiuliza swali, you are there, unamjibu. Si ndio? Akisema I want it delivered, uko na vile delivery itafanywa. So you ask yourself, do I, have I reconciled myself with this business, or what is the requirement of this business? Ndio. So
najiuliza, uko sure?
Are you sure? Niko sure kwamba Karis nitakuwa nikiamka asubuhi saa 12 nishafungua duka. Jioni watu na wangojea hadi saa 4 ndio nifunge wachukue maziwa ya kesho. Sindio? So you ask, there are those objectives that you also look at. You also ask, what are my social objectives? What is this that I want to? Am I planning to give back to the community? How do I intend to affect the community around me? You have to also to think in terms of the social aspect.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Now that you figure out all that, where is the place of unajua biashara mingi zinaanguka sana sana juu ya madeni na ulipatiana samples mingi. How do you go about that? Because pia unataka mtu arudi anambia keki zangu si kama hebu enda uonje hii keki.
Wow,
unaonjesha keki for how long?
Utawaonjesha keki for how waonja hadi wamalize stock. I think as we are doing our objectives in terms of cost, they are cost related even to marketing. You may want to factor all those things. So there will be giveaways. Like unawapata supermarket, wameweka vitu, there are some giveaways, unaonjeshwa juice, unaambiwa iko pale. So you may have to plan even for matters to do with the marketing. Okay. Yeah. So in terms of credit, I think we'll have another lesson as far as now managing credit for business is concerned, because that's also where we go wrong. Unapata umefungua biashara, you've called all your friends from all over, wamekwambia hawana pesa, umewapatia goods, wameenda nazo, then inakuwa mwisho wako pale. Umemaliza capital, hauna kitu.
Nafunga.
Yes, unafunga.
Alafu wanasema ulifungua biashara na mioto.
Na umefunga. They will never say that ni wao walibeba madeni.
Kuna biashara fulani nilikuwa naona huko nyumbani. Though the guy aliachia kijana ikuenda vizuri. Alikuwa ana sticker. Ilikuwa imeandikwa kukukopesha na itakukopesha. Lakini kuja kwanza na mzazi, ukuwe umefikisha miaka 8, ukuje na wazazi wote wawili na wakuwe na meno.
Wow. Making it impossible.
Alafu alikuwa ameweka hapo kubwa. And you go there and you're like, kama tulikuwa unaenda kukopa, una turn around, unarudi unaenda kutafuta mahali pengine. But hata wewe anasema biashara yake hapa ilianguka juu ya madeni.
Yes, that's true. Most businesses, by the way, if you look at kama tungesoma urology ya businesses vile zilianguka ile inakujanga number 1 ni madeni.
So maybe this young person with
Yeah.
the intention of getting his product or her product out there,
Yes.
anaweza fanya mistake pia ya kupatiana deni mingi.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, so there are all those things that we also consider as you are considering giving credit, that is goods and services on credit. You also need to consider your financial muscle. You also need to ask yourself, are others giving? Because if others are not giving, why me give? So that is why we said we need to come up with a very unique selling proposition so that we don't treat credit as a tool for moving.
And once you have that uniqueness,
yes,
then money is not the problem.
It's not.
Because they actually come because of that
uniqueness.
I get it. Wow.
Yes. And then I know you want to do some business news.
No,
I think
business tumemaliza. Yeah, today's topic has a lot of questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
we shall answer all of them. And then the other one is a behavior or the service. That is, you have to consider how fast to serve customer or answer phone calls. How will I serve? How will I make deliveries? So all that is under what we are calling measurable business objectives, because we are saying this is the one that will give you focus and direction for the business startup. So as you are doing your business, that will give you direction. Which is the direction I want to take? How am I going to grow my sales? How am I going to finance my business? How am I going to handle now credit as far as my customers are concerned? So I think once you look at all those factors, then I think
wow,
we shall be ready now to implement our idea. I think now that will now take us to the other point where now we ask ourselves, how do I now plan my marketing? How do I market?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so umesikia before tuombe biashara yako yenye unataka kuanza.
Yes.
Kuna zile vitu nasema I've done what I'm supposed to do as a human being.
Yes.
Wacha sasa niachie Mungu afanye kenye anataka anaweza fanya. Lakini wetu tunaachia hata Mungu watu figure out customer nini. You know, when you have such targets, even your prayer is on point. You know, these are the people I'm targeting. Lord, may this unique idea that I have be a selling point out there. Somebody is asking about pricing. You know, sema yana struggle sana na pricing.
Oh yes.
How do you, or that is that part of the series, or we can talk about it today?
That will be, it forms part of the series
so
on pricing of how to price your products.
Okay.
But I think as you've just said something, and today I had a leading word, and the word that I wanted us to just to reemphasize and think of was in Ecclesiastes 11 4-6. What does the word of God says? Whoever watches the wind will not plant.
This is the fourth time I've
Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap.
Wow.
As you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Sow your seed in the morning, and at the evening let your hands not be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. So I think even as we are thinking and contemplating and talking about this worldly knowledge, I think we also need to point ourselves back to God, because He's the one, actually, He establishes our plans. We may plan, we will do all this. But I want to encourage every upcoming entrepreneur or an entrepreneur or a startup, somebody who has an idea in the head, that the person who should direct you most, it is God Himself.
So let me ask a few questions here.
Sure.
There's this one who's saying word of counsel to a Christian in need to do business God's way at this day and age of corruption.
Yes.
Unafaa kuwe na budget ya hongo?
Hapana. Mimi hiyo nasema hapana. Doing business in a godly way. I think I've been in business and being in business, there are things that I have come to know. Most of the time, why we find ourselves in a point of hongo is where maybe umefungua biashara ya restaurant, uko na hizi license zingine, lakini hukujua kuna ile ya health unafaa kuwa nayo, kuna ile ya fire. So unajua, maybe we also need to look at all those things as we are doing this series, so that we are enlightened. So when these people will never tell you this and this is what you need when you are starting a restaurant. So you only know that I only need tunaitanga business license ya kanzo lipia hiyo license, trading license. So unajua tu ni trading license. Pale ndani utapata kuna ya NEMA, upate unafaa kuwa na ya fire, upate unakuwa na ya health, ya hiyo facility, and all your staff they also must have a health certificate. My goodness. So you have put all your money in the business, you didn't consider all those licenses. So whenever they come, because you don't have them, what will you do? They will tell you, tuonyeshe hii barua, tuonyeshe hii, and because you don't have them, unaanza tutakubeba, tutaenda na wewe. So unaambiwa sasa ukibebwa sijui utafanywa hii na hii na hii. I think we need to be enlightened when I'm starting the business. Which are these? Because I told you, whenever you start a business, you think you are starting a business for yourself, but there are so many parties that are interested in your business.
They're actually seeing you put that billboard there and they're smiling.
They're smiling. They will come. Have you paid for the advertisement?
So as a Christian, getting into business, what you're saying is, seal all the loopholes.
Try to seal
all the loopholes as possible.
We should not be ignorant because that is where tunashikwa na hii mambo ambayo inakuja kukuambia wahonge waende, usibebwe. So we must we must do it right. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mankaris and the visitor. Mimi napenda sana kushona na kushuka, but sina hiyo experience vizuri. Watu wana feel vizuri sana nikishuka mtoi wa sonko yangu huku kwa job, na pia nikishona nguo kama imeraruka, huwa na feel poa sana. Mpaka natamani ningekuwa na full experience. Nikifikiria kwenda kusomea inani cost, na pia sina enough funds za shule. But I have a small money to start up something small, and I was thinking about M-Pesa. How will you advise me to do?
Starting okay.
Huyo kuna idea na kuna passion.
Akona idea. Okay. Ako already na passion na akona idea. I think I want to say this, that if you believe in in that idea that you have, I would advise that if you can save and get the knowledge as far as kushuka ama kushona, you start with one. Unaweza anza na ya salon. And I think I'm happy because out here there are so many colleges ambazo that are being funded. Kuna so many funded, especially hizo za kushuka nywele, za kushona nguo. There are a lot. I don't want to mention names of organizations, but there are many banks. There are like 2 or 3 banks that are sponsoring students in that line of doing such. So maybe after you can share my number. They can talk to me. We can see how they can get help in terms of that. Okay, the other thing is, I think if you look around, an M-Pesa business on its own cannot sustain you. So it's becoming, it's like complementing another business. So you must have the other business that you are doing. Now you're complementing, unless you're doing big time M-Pesa. So I would advise that they consider knowledge first. Consider pursuing.
You love it, you can save for it.
Yes, exactly. Wow. Yeah.
Somebody is saying thank you so much, I'm learning a lot. Kuna topic ako mwingine hata amenitumia screenshot ya notes hapa kutuprovia na learn.
Okay.
It's not just learning, by the way. This is something I pray that you get an opportunity to implement. But do due diligence before you get into the space of now biashara imeanza. There are few people asking about the place of a coach now in all these, because there are people now who can work with you. And kuna watu wanauliza, biashara imekwama mahali, they will want to talk to you. And I don't know if you're open to talking to people about their stuck businesses and around the story of or rather this conversation. So I think you can give your number so that somebody who wants to get in touch with you can get in touch with you. Kwa sababu pia tumebarikiwa tofauti. Mwingine labda anahitaji tu mtu wa kumwambia unaongeleshanga wafanyikazi wako vibaya. And so wanaserve watu na attitude. Na hapo ndio unapotezea. Si ati una nini. Lakini mfanyikazi hawezi enda akamwambia wewe unatuongeleshanga vibaya, ndio maana the end pia ina suffer. So but maybe that is the kind of sense they need. That's why they want to reach out to you.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
We have programs that we can use to train them so that they become better entrepreneurs. So in case you want to reach me, you can reach me through my line, which is 0722 68 114.
0722
68
68
114.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
All right. Maybe as a closing shot, I would say this: as an entrepreneur, you are part of God's plan. The work you do today, the employees, customers you serve, shareholders you report to, serve an active part of what God is doing on earth.
Amen.
So I think that should encourage you. Know that as you are serving your employees, as you are serving your shareholders, as you are serving customers, one thing is for sure, you are playing an active part of what God is doing on earth.
Wow.
So keep on keeping on.
Santeni sana. Thank you so much for your time, Zipporah, and thank you for sharing these insights and wisdom with us.